This is the matter of Simmons versus Hargrove. Mr. and Mrs. Simmons, I've read the materials that you all have submitted to this court. It appears you all are suing Mr. Hargrove for injuries that you sustained when you went down a water slide at his park. You're asking this court to award you $200,000 in past medical expenses and $1.8 million for pain and suffering, for a total of $2 million. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hargrove, your response to this is he got what he paid for in terms of going down a water slide. This is not your fault. He assumed the risk.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now let's get into the legal sauce. Tell me how we got here, Mr. Simmons.
Well, I'm a family man, as you can see. I went to the water park with my wife and my son, and we had planned this for a while.
How old was your son?
He's 4.
So you're a real dad?
Yo, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'm a water park enthusiast. I'm known around, they call me Big Sexy.
Okay.
So.
Why this park this day?
Well, the park actually had a new attraction called the Devil's Descent.
Okay.
It's one of the highest slides in the state, and I had to go ahead and make sure that I could get on, especially with my son being afraid of heights.
Heights make me nervous. I did this with my own son, who's now 28, trying to prove to him that I could do it, but I didn't end up the way you did.
It was the worst day.
Now, is this what you being prepared on the day of the incident to go down the slide, is that you?
Yes, sir.
That's Big Sexy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you look pretty happy there, like you're excited and ready to have a good time with your wife and son.
I was.
Was your little boy excited?
Oh, he was excited. He was running around the park. I was trying to chase him and everything, trying to keep up with him. He's my everything, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Hargrove, tell me about your park.
Well, this park has been in my family for 3 generations.
Okay.
My grandfather started it 32 years ago, and then he passed it down to my father. I have been running it for the last 3 years. We get over 7 million visitors a year now.
That's a lot of folk.
That's absolutely a lot of folks. And with that being said, with those 7 million a year, we have no injuries.
Now, you've got this ride, what's the slide called?
It's the Devil's Descent. It's a brand new ride, and it's the new attraction. It's why everybody's coming to get a ride on that Devil's Descent.
Mr. Simmons, today you don't look as excited as you seemed to be in that picture when you were about to ride the slide. Tell me how this thing happened.
I go to get on the ride. It's actually about a 25-minute wait.
Okay.
So I have my wife and my son stay at the bottom.
That kind of builds the excitement though, right?
Oh, it does. And I know he's excited. I see him down there jumping and waving, and I know I'm gonna make him proud when I go down this slide.
Now, Mr. Simmons, you submitted a few documents to the court. One is a picture of the slide. I want you, if you can, take your time, but I want you, and Sheriff Matt, if you'll help him get over to the plasma, I want you to explain exactly how this happened, because I've never been on this slide, and frankly, don't care to get on it. It's too high for me.
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on, cross over. Now, is this the slide that you went down?
Yes, Your Honor. It's about 150 feet up. So when you get at the top, you notice that you're very high up.
Okay.
It's immediate. Up here, everything was fine. Next thing I know, I get to this second slide right here, this second bump, and that's where I was in the air.
You went airborne?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I felt like I didn't touch back down till about here. And that was scary, because about here is where I noticed I had to be going maybe 60, 70 miles an hour.
Okay.
I'm flying. When I come down here, I feel it just continue, and I get to the water. Instead of splashing in, it just kind of skipped across the top here.
Like a stone on a pond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Exactly. It was the most traumatic feeling of my life. Then I continued across, immediately felt pain as I landed on the concrete, and then I slammed into the retaining wall. I was thinking, oh God, I'm gonna die.
Yes, sir.
It was the most terrifying experience of my entire life.
Yes, sir. You may return to the podium.
Thank you.
Now, Mrs. Simmons, I've been talking like you're not in the room, but I'm watching your face. What was this like for you? You're standing there with your son.
To go from that and seeing him at the top all bubbly to now wondering if your husband's gonna make it, wondering if your son's gonna have a father, that was a drastic change. You know, to see your husband flying into...
Did he see his dad hit the wall?
He did.
And what was his reaction?
He's traumatized, crying. crying in tears.
So you're trying to comfort him. You're
Exactly.
frightened about your husband. You're scared.
Exactly, yes.
Pandemonium. Mr. Hargrove, are you a family man?
I am a family man, yes, sir.
You have babies?
Absolutely.
This kind of thing changes a marriage, changes a lot of things that are meaningful, true?
And I truly sympathize with him. But at the same time, it is not the fault of our company. I wish he just would have paid attention to all the warnings that were there ahead of time. We could have really, resolved the whole issue.
Well, how's he to know that? Mr. Larson, it's this court's understanding that you are suing Ms. Reinhardt and Ms. Clarkson for $2.4 million for past medical bills, $100,000 for future medical bills, and $2.5 million for pain and suffering, for a total of $5 million. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Reinhardt, Ms. Clarkson, you all believe that his injuries are his fault. That is, you provided a concert, he was injured, he got what he paid for.
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your
Yes, Your
Honor.
Honor.
All right, now let's get into the legal sauce. Mr. Larson, tell me how you got to go into this concert.
Well, Your Honor, me and my girlfriend have been dating for 2 years now. We met at a video game convention 2 years ago, and we shared similar interests.
Both you all are music lovers?
Yes, I'm also a pro gamer, so I play video games competitively and sometimes for stream online.
You get paid to play games?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right.
And so we were wanting to do something special for our 2-year anniversary, and we have never been to an Epic Star concert together. Epic Star is my favorite artist ever. I've been to well over 10 Epic Star concerts in the past.
So you really like Epic Star?
Yes.
Miss
an
Star, that's gotta
incredible
feel
singer.
good.
Yes. Yes,
To
Your Honor.
have fans who love you like that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I just love the way she talks about love and peace in her music.
So she really connects with you with the music.
Yes, and I think she connects with a lot of her fans. When you go to her concerts, they're energetic events. You go and everyone is full of energy.
Miss Clarkson, you're the owner of this venue, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you have these kind of concerts all the time?
All the time. We
And-
actually really wanted Miss Epic Star to come and perform because it was her American tour. It was the last leg. It's a pretty hype type of atmosphere, so it was standing room only. And she did an amazing job.
So, Miss Star, you're expecting all these fans out there, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
People who love you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does it ever get old for you?
No, it doesn't. My most important thing is to make sure my fans are happy. Like he said, I'm about peace, love, and just connecting with my fans. And that's the most important part to me, making sure everyone's safe and everyone's having a great time, pretty much.
And you mentioned safe. I imagine when you realized that this young
Yes,
man was
Your Honor.
injured, it kind of got to you.
Yes, Your Honor. Because like I said, I do care about my fans, so it does bother me that he is injured.
So, Mr. Larson, you and your girlfriend, you go to the venue. Where do you decide to stand?
Well, we wanted to get as close to the front of the stage as possible because seeing her up in person, she really brings the energy to the whole crowd.
She's got a good show.
Yes, exactly. And she has this signature move she does near the end of every concert.
A signature move?
Yes, where she stage dives off the concert and then crowd surfs around for a while.
Tell me how it happens and what do you do?
At every single one of my concerts, I always do the stage dive or crowd surf.
Okay.
At every single one of them, like he said, he's been to 10 to 20 of my concerts, so he knows this. That's
You do
what I
it every time?
Every single one of them.
This is what my middle son calls the hype move.
Yes, they love it, and that's why I do it every single one, because like I said, it's about pleasing them. So they love when I do it. Everyone knows, so it's an awesome time. They know that I'm coming because I say like 3, 2, 1, here I come, like so that they know that they're ready
So it's like
for me to
3,
come out.
2, 1.
Yeah, and then here I
boom.
come, and then I jump out, and then they know that I'm coming. They
And
know
they
to be
catch you.
careful and to pay attention, catch me, and everything. Yeah.
Okay, and that's
why I
what
make
you
sure there's
anticipated,
procedures.
Mr. Larson? That she was
Absolutely.
going to jump off the stage?
Absolutely. We were trying to
Tell me
get
how you got hurt.
Well, Your Honor, we knew that at the very end of the concert, Epic Star does her signature stage dive. And since we knew that was coming, we were hoping to get out a little early to avoid the crowds when we were leaving the concert hall. And so we were on our way out. I turned around and suddenly I feel a sharp pain in the back of my neck.
Now, when you turned, did you turn away from the stage?
Yes, Your Honor,
Okay.
towards the exits.
So what happened next after you turned?
I felt the sharp pain in the back of my neck, and it crumpled me over. My girlfriend came over to see if I was all right, And when I turned around, I saw that Epic Star had kicked me in the back of the head.
If you were turned around, there's no way you could see if I kicked you.
So, Ms. Starr, do you remember this event?
No, I do not recall this at all.
Ms. Clarkson, were you there?
I was there.
What do you
Your
remember?
Your Honor, I did not see the kick. However, I did see him fall down. I sent over the head of security. He's been with me 10 years. I trust him. And I went over to see if he was okay. He stated that he was fine, that nothing was hurt, that he was okay.
So, Mr.
and
Larson, at that time, you were okay.
Yes.
You felt the pain, but you weren't feeling much more than
it
that.
seemed like a minor injury at best. I was with my girlfriend. I didn't want to seem like a wimp needing help out of the theater. But by the time we got to our car, I was having such an excruciating headache that I didn't feel safe driving anymore.
And this was caused by the stage dive?
Yeah.
This is Wilson versus Atkins. Ms. Wilson, it's my understanding that you are suing Mr. Atkins for hitting your foot with a forklift and tearing part of it off. You are asking this court to award you $250,000 for past medical expenses, $150,000 for future medical expenses, $2 million for scarring and disfigurement, and $2.7 million for pain and suffering, for a total award of $5.1 million. That's what you want, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Atkins, it's your position she shouldn't have been there, and if she had been responsible, this would have never happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce. Now, Ms. Wilson, why'd you file this lawsuit?
I started working. I went into shipping, a warehouse shipping, and 6 months ago, I was promoted as supervisor in a male-dominant area.
Women are changing the world, getting into the guys stuff.
We are.
You're enjoying it?
I love it.
So, Mr. Atkins, tell me about your job. What do you do?
I'm a truck driver. Truck driver's been in the family for the longest of times. You know, my grandpappy did it, my dad did it, and now I'm doing it.
Two of my brothers are truck drivers.
Oh, that's great.
You deliver things, I take it?
Yes.
What kinds of things do you deliver?
We deliver whatever a client may need. We work for about 50 companies.
Okay.
We transport to over 100 locations.
So, Ms. Wilson, what went wrong here?
I am looking over my inventory, making sure everything is correct. No one is in the warehouse but me.
Why would that be? Is it a break or something?
Yes, all my employees are going on break.
Okay.
That's when I know there's no machinery on. It's no reason for nothing to be going wrong at this point because I'm the only one there.
Your Honor, first I'd like to say, why would you have all your employees at lunch at the same time?
Okay.
It's a time schedule. How are you inconveniencing me because of your personal agenda?
Simply because
like, why are you doing that? Look how much time that you're wasting by doing this.
Mr. Atkins, talk to me. So, Ms. Wilson, tell me what happened.
As I'm in the warehouse and I'm going through my stuff and I'm stepping back, and as I'm going back, I get this sharp pain into my left heel where he is on my forklift and slams into my left heel. I'm down, I'm on the ground.
Did you know you had struck her leg or her foot?
I felt a little bump and I seen it there, and as soon as I seen it there, I caught and
Is
got
she
help.
down on the
She's
concrete?
down on the ground, yeah.
You remember this, obviously, Ms.
Yes,
Wilson.
I was down, I was screaming, I was in pain. I've never in my life felt this type of pain before, ever.
So there's no one really around but you and Mr. Atkins at this
Correct.
point. So then what do?
I blacked out. When I woke up, I was in the hospital.
Mr. Atkins, do you remember this incident?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell me how this happened from your perspective.
So this is a company that I've been working with for 4 years now.
Okay. So basically what you do, you pick up a load,
Yes.
and then you deliver it to the warehouse.
Yes.
Right? When you get to the warehouse, is there a certain routine that you go through to deliver your load?
It's always, you get there, drop your load off to somebody, they take care of it, but sometimes they can't take care of it. So because I'm certified and driving a forklift, they gave me the okay to go ahead and do it.
So, Ms. Wilson, on this day when Mr. Atkins brought his load, what was he supposed to do?
Your Honor, he's supposed to wait on staff. He's supposed to wait on them because they are the ones that help unload the truck. And when he gets out of his truck, he's supposed to sign his name, time, and date, and that's when I will come and I will signature off showing that he did come and make the drive.
And then once he completes the paperwork, your staff grabs the forklift and unloads the truck with your forklift.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Atkins, you actually went in and got the forklift yourself.
Yes, I did. The previous manager told me that I had the authorization to do that.
So to be clear, you knew about the policy.
Yes, I did.
Folks told you could do it another way.
That's why he got fired, the other supervisor, because of the situation of him coming in and doing what he wanted to do. It didn't work that way.
So how's he supposed to know that we're doing it differently?
This has been a rule that's been going on before I even became supervisor.
But he said for years he's been allowed to do this. Why wouldn't he just do it the same way?
No, sir, not on my watch, because safety is my protocol, and that's what I'm going by. If they can't get with it, then...
And so what happened to your foot?
I have a hole in my foot this big, in my heel. They had to take muscle out of my left thigh to place inside of my heel to try to give me somewhat of a balance.
Yes, ma'am.
But it would never be the same because I'll forever have like a limp. I would have hip problems. I mean, my whole life is completely shattered. I can never wear heels again. I've done all kind of stuff. I used to travel. I have children.
Yes, ma'am.
You can still
You know,
travel.
and I have all these, I have responsibilities. My husband is sick. I'm the breadwinner in my family.
Yes, ma'am. Good day, everyone. This is the matter of McGuire versus Brooks. It's my understanding, Miss McGuire, that you are suing for injuries you received when a nail gun shot a nail through your head.
Yes.
You're suing Mr. Brooks for those injuries, and you have $300,000 in medical expenses, $200,000 for future medical expenses, and $1.5 million for pain and suffering. You want this court to award you $2 million against Mr. Brooks. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, it's your position today that had Miss McGuire waited for you and not been in the wrong place at the wrong time, this would have never happened, and thus this is not your fault. True?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now let's get into the legal sauce. Now, Miss McGuire, tell me, how did you come to even hire Mr. Brooks?
Yes, Your Honor. So I am a musician. I play the bass guitar and the ukulele for my indie rock band.
I fool with a sax every once in a while.
Hey, maybe you could join our band one day. So I was headed on a 3-month tour around the country, visiting different bars. We had some sold out areas, sold out concerts, and I hired Mr. Brooks to build a recording studio in my home on the 2nd floor. After the 3 months had passed, I was really excited to see the work that Mr. Brooks had done on our recording
Did you
studio.
think it was going to be done in 3 months?
I was told that it was going to be near done when I got back.
And Mr. Brooks, tell me about your company. How long you been doing construction?
Well, Your Honor, I've been in business for about 25 years.
Long time.
Basically, yes, Your Honor. And basically for the last 5 of those years, I ran my own business, a Bag of Bricks Remodeling, as a remodeling contractor.
How long does something like this normally take?
Well, it depends on the extravagancy of the project. She wanted a state-of-the-art studio put in. So
Okay, she was going to do it right.
Yeah, she was going to do it up. She was going to do it up.
And so how long was it supposed to take in your estimation?
Well, in my estimation, we should have been done about 3.5 months, 4 months tops.
So, Miss McGuire, take me to the day that this happened. What happened?
Yes, Your Honor. So I arrived home. I walked up the stairs in my house and walked through a plastic drape. I immediately stubbed my toe. Natural reaction, you know, you bend down to make sure that everything's okay.
And where are you in your house?
I am on the 2nd floor of my home.
Okay, at the entrance of the studio?
At the entrance of the studio, yes, Your Honor.
So then what happened?
So then I stood back up, I turned my head, and I immediately bumped into something. I didn't know what it was, but immediately it was just this excruciating pain in the right side of my head. It felt like a bomb had exploded inside my head. I thought I was having a stroke. I wasn't sure what was going on. Somehow, I was able to pull my phone out of my pocket and dial 911. And the next thing that I remember, I woke up in the hospital, and that's when the doctor told me that there was a 3-inch nail that had pierced my skull. So this is the actual nail that pierced my skull. It went in right here in my temple behind my eye, and then it pierced up through my optic nerve and into my brain. And Your Honor,
you must have been scared out of your wits.
I was scared to death, and now I am completely blind in my right eye.
Sheriff Matt, could you get the nail? Let me see it. So this nail went into your eye?
Yes, Your Honor.
This was sticking in your head?
That was what the surgeon pulled out of my skull.
That's your head, Miss McGuire?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks, what do you call this kind of nail?
Well, it's a galvanized nail.
Okay, it's an industrial nail, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you had an industrial nail sticking in your head while you're trying to make a call?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe it was shock. So I was able to call 911, and I actually did bring a recording of that tape, Your Honor.
Well, let's hear that. You've submitted it to the court. Let's hear the 911 call.
911, what's your emergency? I have terrible pain. Please help. It's in my head. It hurts so bad. Please help. I can't move. Hello? Ma'am, I'm still here. What's your address? Ma'am, you said you have something in your head. Hello? Hello?
So when this cuts off, what happens?
I blacked out. Apparently, there was blood everywhere.
Miss McGuire, is that your blood?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Brooks, tell me how you knew something bad had gone on.
Well, Your Honor, basically I pulled up and saw Miss McGuire going into her home, and I yelled out to her, and she continued to go into the entrance of her home. And so she looked like she was in a bit of a hurry. I imagine that maybe she had to use the bathroom or something like that. So I pulled in, gathered my notes, grabbed my folder, and I went in to meet her upstairs to the top of the entrance. And when I got up there and went through the plastic draping,
what did you see?
That's when I saw. That's when I saw Mrs. McGuire laying in a pool of blood. And
so she's lying on the floor.
She's laying there.
She's got a nail in her head. She's passed out and her blood's all over the floor?
Well, Your Honor, I don't know what's in her head. I just see her laying in a pool of blood. And it just shocked me because she just came in.
This had to freak you out, too.
Yes, sir. I was shocked. So I grabbed my phone and I called 911.
Did you know what had happened at that point?
I had no idea what had happened. I'm trying to figure out, she just walked in the house.
But you called 911?
I called 911, sir.
Now, Mr. Brooks, you see this is pretty bad stuff. This is a bad injury, right?
Oh, yes, sir. I empathize with her.
And it was your nail gun.
Yes, sir. It was mine.
Your nail.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Her injury.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
But you tell me today it's not your fault. Tell me why.
Well, Your Honor, we had an agreement to meet at her garage.
You did?
At 1:30.
Okay.
At 1:30, and that way I can safely navigate her into the home.
Okay.